Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. We have Mateen filling in for Qasim today, and our guest is Lou. So, Lou, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
My name is Lou Angulo. I'm a graphic artist, and I live in the New York area, New Jersey. And I run my own business. I have a e-commerce shop that I make graphic skins for gaming devices and other devices. So I design different type of artwork and I print it all out. I do all the manufacturing myself, do it all kind of in-house and just sell it online. And it's been going pretty well for the past few years.
Awesome. So how did you get the idea to start your business?
I'm an entrepreneur, so I've owned a few businesses already. I had a motorcycle customizing shop, a large format printer that can do really high quality graphics on vinyl and any type of material, really. So I had that for about 3 years, and then we had to shut it down because we had some trouble with the town for the location that we were in. During the pandemic, I had the machine kind of just sitting there. I would still do a few jobs here and there, and then I was trying to see what else I could use the machine for. So then I started looking at skins and graphic wraps for different devices. Because at the time I had gotten the Nintendo Switch and it was just so plain. And I like customizing things. Like that's always been like my thing. So I wanted to make something for it. And then I was looking online and a lot of the skins that people were selling were pretty basic. Like the artwork was kind of boring and it was just like patterns and nothing really exciting. So I decided to just start designing my own thing. And I got like a really good vinyl that could wrap around the graphics and stuff. So this is actually what my Nintendo Switch looks like now. Changing things up, and I make a new design every month or so, and I just like doing that.
So in terms of making new designs, you said that you're doing one about each, one per month. How long does each new design take you to make?
Ideally, it really depends on if I'm doing the graphics for an existing template or if I'm doing a whole new template for a device that I haven't done before. When it's something that I haven't wrapped before, then it takes a little longer because all the cuts need to be really technical to wrap around the object in a certain way. So that does get more difficult. That would take me maybe, I would say, about a week or so to kind of get everything from scratch. As far as the graphics themselves, it all depends. If I'm doing some illustration work that I have to draw it out, sketch it, and then redigitize it on the computer and do all that, then I would say a few weeks. If it's something more simple that is just like graphics and like some text and things like this, and it should take me about a day or two to come up with the design.
Awesome. So what was your biggest challenge when starting this business?
It's a good question. It all kind of grew pretty organically. So at first, I came up with a few designs and I launched an Etsy shop. Like Etsy was kind of getting bigger in like 2019, 2020. So I just put a few designs up there, just testing the waters, and it started selling pretty well. Then that's when I got the Oculus Quest, and then I made a wrap for that. And then this one actually took off pretty like a lot, and it was selling really consistently. So after about 8 months to a year of selling on Etsy, I was trying to take it to the next level, and then I realized that Amazon was probably like my better choice. And I was also a little worried about going on Amazon because just the platform, like the whole process of becoming a seller was going to be a lot more difficult, a lot more in depth than just a simple Etsy shop. So I would say that would be the biggest challenge was really getting to know like the whole Amazon backend, keywords, advertising, like all these things that go into it besides just making a good product and selling it. And another challenge that I've always worried about, and I haven't I stressed about it from the beginning, so I haven't had too many issues. But my biggest concern was that wrapping, like putting the graphics on the devices, it's a little tricky Sometimes you like if you're not too crafty or too good with your hands, then it might be a little difficult for some people. So I was always worried that I was going to sell it and then people were going to complain and throw it in the garbage and they wasted $25 or whatever they sell it for. So that's why I made video instructions and written instructions, because I wanted people to and also the material that I use, it's very simple. You can peel it off and put it back on. And so that was like my biggest challenge, was trying to make it as simple for just anybody that has never put on a decal to be able to do it, you know.
That's great, Lou. So what's the role of technology in your business?
A lot. I mean, right now I use 3 different machines to make my products, besides obviously my computer and design software. So how it works is I will design the templates, I will make the graphics, and then it will print from a UV printer, a large format printer, and that comes from a roll. So it will print out of the roll, and I'll have maybe 10 up on like one sheet of media. From there, I will laminate it to put like a extra protection layer on top of it. And then after that, I run it through a cutter that will do all the individual cuts to the shape that it needs to be. And the same cutter also does like the perforation. So the cutter will actually do the fine cut around the decal, but it also does a perforation that cuts the paper fully. So then at that point, all I have to do is just pop it out of the big roll, throw it into an envelope, and send it out. So as far as the process, I've gotten pretty familiar with running. And like a year ago, during the holiday season, it's pretty much just me, my wife, and my mother-in-law kind of running the business. So we were getting a lot of orders. And the good thing is that as the machine prints, like I don't have to have that much inventory in stock, because as the orders come in, I can kind of turn around fairly quickly. But like I was having the machine running pretty much 24/7, and I still couldn't keep up with the demand. I try to make my process and my files and everything as simple and as fast as possible. So like as a learning curve, I realized that as the sheet comes out, I shouldn't have too many individual pieces. So then I started bundling everything to the size of the envelope. So that way, when I'm popping things out, it will be a lot faster. So little by little, I've been kind of improving my whole workflow, trying to get as much as I can while still keeping everything in house. You know, I looked at some overseas manufacturing facilities, but the quality is still not exactly what I'm providing. The vinyl is it's a little cheaper, like, and then I also like to promote that everything's kind of American made or made in this New York area.
So you mentioned looking overseas manufacturers. Obviously, 100% agree. I think that the quality, just what I've seen, the quality from overseas is very not consistent, to say the least, right? So you're making it all in house in terms of keeping that high level of quality. So in terms of scalability, like, are you thinking about even finding a partner like locally to help you grow and sell more products as you're getting all this demand to grow this business? Like what are you looking at just in terms of scalability?
Yeah, that's actually the point that I'm at right now. For a while, I've been like kind of burning out, just from kind of handling everything myself. And I'm getting to a point that I don't see the business growing, like just doing it me by myself. So, I have hired a few people to help me with the website, with Amazon listings, Amazon PPC, that kind of stuff. So, but as far as the manufacturing, I'm still struggling, because the vinyl that I use, it's actually meant for car wraps. So, like really, and it's like 3M brand, which is like the highest end of vinyl that you can get. So finding local places that will do the same material for the same kind of cost that I'm running it's really tough. When I looked at overseas, the cost that they were giving me per unit was actually less than me running it in-house, which it's really crazy to for them to do all that work and still be less than what I'm doing it myself. But again, I'm really stuck on the quality, and I just don't want my customers to have a bad experience. The other thing that I'm looking at right now is just getting bigger machines, and like right now I can do mine does maybe 24 inches wide. There are some bigger machines that are 60 or 54 and 60 inches that I can do more volume at the same time and are a lot faster than the equipment I have now. But the problem that I struggle with that is I'm kind of limited in the space, since I'm running it all out of my basement. So it's either if I wanted to scale my equipment, then I need to also find a place like another warehouse to run it from that has more space. So I'm kind of trying to balance the cost and everything involved in that.
So, what's the role of artificial intelligence in your business right now, and what do you see in future?
Yeah, so with artificial intelligence, it's actually helped me come up with the artwork a lot faster. Even so, me doing the all illustration by hand always takes a long time. So now I've been using Mid-Journey to come up with the graphics, and then I will just modify them to fit into the template. And then it has something that would have taken me maybe 2 3 days to illustrate. I'm doing it in maybe a few hours, just going back and forth, trying different prompts, and it's a lot faster. And I think that's something that has kind of kept my business low so far, is that there's demand, and I want to have more designs up and more like more graphics to and more products to sell, but me doing the graphic and the production and everything behind it has really slowed me down. So I think with AI, it can really help me come up with more designs and make more products.
So, in terms of marketing, right? So, how are you getting the word out? How do people find your business and buy your products? You mentioned that you were on Etsy before, but just like now in general, like, like is it social media, email marketing? Like, what's been the most effective strategy for
Honestly, it has been PPC, pay per click. I haven't done much email marketing. That's something that I'm looking into now. Social media, it has helped a little bit, but not as much. Amazon has their own like ad campaigns and everything that you can run within their platform, and that's been really good. It does get a little pricey, and you have to kind of keep on checking it and changing keywords and changing listings, and there is a lot more that goes to it. And one thing that kind of makes me mad is I'm on YouTube or social media, and a lot of times I see all these coaching videos like, oh, become an Amazon seller, you can make 6 figures a week or whatever. And I hate when people are trying to sell that kind of product, because a lot of people I'm sure are trying it and doing it, and people that have no experience selling, and like the amount of work that goes into just learning some of these platforms, it's like a full-time job. Like it's really difficult to do it, or it's not as easy as some of those kind of coaching videos make it seem.
with this coaching? Like, we're part of an accelerator right now. I always say it's like if you're going to work with people, it's people. You need to make sure that they actually have done it before. If
Yeah.
because you have all these people that are showing you how to make money on Amazon who've never done it before. It's like, how do they even know if they've never scaled an Amazon brand? It's like I always look at these people. Okay, have they actually done it before? Like that's really important.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And that's something big, something that I'm big on. Like a lot of times I take on way more than I can handle. But at the same time, I feel like if I learn the ins and outs on how something works, then I can hire people to do something, because now I can tell them, oh, hey, this is how I want you to do it. This is what I want done. And also, if they're telling me, if they're talking to me, like these are the challenges, these are the issues that we're having or whatever, I want to be able to understand, okay, I have dealt with that before. Let's try a different route or something along those lines.
You mentioned pay per click. So is that only on Amazon? Are you doing it on social media platforms, or what does that look like for you?
Yeah, so right now I'm only running it on Amazon. That's where most of my budget's going, just because it makes the most sense. Doing it on social media, I have tried it, but I get some followers from it. I get some views and stuff, but I don't see as many conversions coming from the social media advertising. I think it's more of like a long-term goal. Um, I think later on I might see more conversions, but as of right now, due to my restricted budget for advertising, I'm trying to put it all towards Amazon.
So do you have a website now, or are you trying to get people? So if you were to run an ad on social media, would you try to get them to Amazon, or what does that look like?
Yeah, right now my website, you can go on it, you can check out the different designs, But anything that you want to buy, it will link you straight to Amazon. I did that. I'm looking to make it so people can shop straight on my website, which I used to have. I just changed it recently. But the reason why I'm not doing that right now is because Amazon actually it kind of boosts your product to have to bring your own customers from different platforms. So I've been trying that out just to see how well that does. And the other thing is Amazon does a really good job with kind of, and I don't know if they do it for everybody or if it's just because my products have been selling that they're kind of supporting me and helping me grow. But they even like hire some web developers to import some or fix some things on my website. And then before, when I had people shopping straight through my website, they implemented a thing where they can check out with Prime. So they would buy it straight from my website, but it would ship from the inventory that they're holding for me. So I thought that was like a really good thing that they did, since I didn't have to pay for any of the development work, and they're kind of helping me push the product more.
What are your top priorities for the next 3 to 6 months?
It would be to make more products. So pretty much the Oculus has been my biggest seller so far, but this Oculus Quest 2 is at the end of its product life. Meta is releasing the new one probably in September or October. So that's going to be my main focus, is kind of as soon as the product comes out, I'm going to go buy it, test out the template, make sure that everything works, make sure that the designs that I already have designed for the Quest 2 can transition to the Quest 3 or to the Meta 3. So that's going to be most of my focus for Q4, is to try to release as products for the new VR headset as soon as it comes out.
Sure. So what is the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before you started this company?
To not be so critical of myself. I think I've held back a lot, just overthinking things and worrying about like things, like minor things that might not happen. So like I said before, like I was so stressed about people not being able to put it on just because some designs are a little trickier than others. Things like that I haven't had really that many issues with, or whatever I did kind of is helping people that have never done this before. So things like that, like I feel like, and also I struggle sometimes with my own art. Sometimes I'll spend hours working on something and it looks good. My wife tells me it looks good. I show it to people, they say it's cool. But in my head, I'm like, no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. So it's kind of like a self-doubt kind of thing. Like it's good to put things out there and just see people's feedback and go from there, you know?
Yeah, I feel like with art, it's really just everybody has their own personal opinion, and it's like somebody, I remember like my friend was telling me there's this whole thing with like the banana tapes to the wall a couple of years ago, and somebody thought that was great art. Most people wouldn't think that, but I feel like if you find enough people that really love what you're doing and are big fans of your work, it's all that matters. Is having that, group of people that want to keep buying from you as you have these new designs.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I've also had a lot of people make suggestions. Like I have a whole list of things that people have said, oh, you should make something for this. You should make something for that. And I try to make it as much as possible, but it also needs to make sense for me. Like if it's a product or something that's so niche that I'm only going to sell a few of them, then I don't want to spend as much time on that than something I know is going to sell more. And that's also like a hard balance to have, is sometimes I get this crazy idea and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. Like this is going to sell so much. And then I put it up and I don't get any sales. So, but that's also where I feel like when you're running an e-commerce business, you almost need to be like an SEO expert. No matter what the business is, being like knowing SEO, knowing keywords, knowing the trends can actually help you come up with better products, like come up with things that you can see the demand for certain products just by looking at Google Trends or any SEO ranks. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get better at, is really like there's software that analyzes how many searches people are viewing on Amazon, or what people are looking for on Etsy, and what others your competitors are selling. So I think all that stuff is very important to know before you even start a product or before you start a business. Like a lot of people think that, oh, I made this great product, it's going to sell so much. But if you don't do the research behind that, the market research, see how big the market is and things like that, then it's going to be more difficult to get your product off the ground.
Sure. So if we have this conversation again in 1 year from now, where do you expect things to go for your business?
It's again, I'm kind of in that standstill right now because I want to expand as much as possible, but I'm also the market for either renting a warehouse or buying, or I'm looking to buy a house really at this point. But the market is so tough in this area that I'm in that I'm not sure how fast that's going to happen, if it's going to happen in the next year or so. So I hope that I'll have a good holiday season because that's really where most of my sales come. But yeah, I think the Quest 3 is going to be pretty great for me. And the other thing is when I put my product on Amazon, the Quest 2 had already been on the market for a year and a half or so. So there was still a lot of demand, but I'm sure it wasn't as much demand as when it first released. So now that I'm a little more established and I kind of know what to look for and what to target, I think with the Quest 3, it's going to be pretty life changing.
Yeah, definitely. So if somebody wanted to reach out to you or your brand, do you mind sharing your website or how somebody can find you?
Sure. So my digital art page or social media, everything is on Lucid.eth. Lucid, it's spelled Loucid. Kind of play on words with my name. For the Skinz, it's Lucid Skinz with a Z. So LoucidSkinz.com. That's my website. They can check it out there. Same thing for social media.
Thank you so much for your time. We're rooting for you. Hopefully you have a great holiday season and hopefully we can chat again soon as you keep, growing and scaling your business.
Great. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Bye.